Publishing your paperback, by the way, today is National Paperback Book Day. Publishing your paperback is not the final step. No, it's the beginning of your book's true impact. If you've written a book that you intend to use to grow your business, don't let it sit quietly on a shelf. In this episode, I'm going to be sharing with you 5 smart and strategic ways to leverage the book you've already written to help grow your business. Hi, my name is Carma Spence, and I help big thinkers, visionary leaders, and seasoned experts write, publish, and market client attracting books to grow their business. And I do it with gamification and AI to help make the sloggy bits not so sloggy. If you're watching this video on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and ring the bell so that YouTube understands this is good content and that the rest of my videos are good content, and they'll push it out to more people so that they can also leverage the book they're either writing, going to write, or have already written. Now let's get to the strategies, the tips, the ways to take the book you've already written, and get it out into the world so that it is growing your business, doing the work you intended it to do, and in the process, making an impact and helping people. The first one is use it as a speaking magnet. Now, this has a couple of different angles to it. Okay. So, first of all, being an author makes you a more bankable speaker. So, just having written a book helps you get better speaking gigs. Of course, you have to go out and get them. They rarely come to you, although they can. I've had some come to me, but I wouldn't bank on that. Event organizers in general just love authors because when they can say, we have this author as our speaker, it's a better draw than we have this person. But there are other ways you can make sure that event organizers know you have a book, know that you are an author, know that you are the right speaker for their event. So when you're applying for podcast opportunities, speaking opportunities, all these things, make sure that they know author goes next to your name. And if your book is relevant to the topic that you are going to be talking about and for their audience, mention that too. In fact, if you can finagle a way to give their listeners or their conference attendees a free or highly discounted copy, specially signed by the author, even better. Now, that's not always feasible, but sometimes you can partner with the conference and have them buy at cost a whole bunch of copies for their attendees. And then you just say, if you do that, I will sign them. You'd be surprised how much that tiny bit of effort not only gets you some sales, not a lot of profit because you're selling it at cost, but maybe you could sell it at cost plus $1. They buy 500 copies, you got 500 bucks. Negotiate, find out what works for both you and the conference or the summit or whatever you're speaking at. And this way you can get your book into the hands of more ideal clients. Now, only do this if the people, the audience has your idea, and you shouldn't be speaking to people who aren't your ideal clients. But you know how some audiences are more aligned than others. If this is a highly aligned audience that you're really sure have a lot of potential clients in it, then sometimes it makes it worthwhile to get copies of books into everyone's hands and at low cost. And when you buy your books in bulk, you can often get them for like a couple of bucks a book, which is an amazing investment. If let's say you bought 500, okay? You bought 500 at $2 a piece. That's $1,000, right? You get one $5,000 client out of that gig, you've just made your money back. It's an investment. So there's one way to leverage your book you've already written to grow your business. Number 2, make it a bonus of your signature program. This is another way. If your signature program is selling well, you can give copies of your book to the people who have enrolled. A number of books in my collection I received for free because I purchased a high ticket program, and the author who was doing the program gave me their book. Sometimes maybe they haven't written a book, but they have partnered with an author who has, and you get that book. I've sometimes gotten a welcome package that had multiple books. Some of them were written by the person who did the program, some of them weren't. In fact, just this week, I received a package with 2 books in it, neither of them written by the person who is doing the program. So I don't know if he partnered with those authors or not, probably didn't. But if you write the right books, you can partner with people. You can put it as a bonus in your program. You can put it in a bonus of other people's programs. I'm just saying, there are great ways to leverage your book at low cost. And again, if you think about it, if you buy your book in bulk, let's say it's $3 a book, and you buy 500, that's $1,500. You get one $5,000 client, and you'll probably get more. You've already made your money back. You got to think of these things as marketing expenses, not just expenses. Number 3, send copies to strategic partners or influencers. There are 2 ways to do this. One is when you're talking to them, you're like, hey, I'd love to gift you a copy of my book. That is one way to do it. Most people will not say no. Most people will not say no. And sometimes they'll even read the book and review for you, or they'll like give you a shout out or something like that. But I have a process where you buy 10 copies of your book and you send it to 10 highly aligned potential clients and or power partners with a special handwritten letter. And depending on how you do it, you can probably get a really high conversion rate from that process. But again, you have to be highly strategic. You have to make sure that the people you're sending, don't just send your books to anybody. Send them to people who you highly believe will be a power partner or a potential client. For example, one time I was at a conference, and the founder of the conference was on the stage, and he talked about how he was not the perfect speaker, a little nervous on speaking, but now he speaks all the time. But, he's still uncomfortable with that. And at the time, I had written Public Speaking Superpowers. So I made sure he got a free copy in his hand. Now, he has not become a client, which is fine. He hasn't become a power partner yet, but he knows who I am and will often have exchanges. I mean, obviously, he wants me to be a client. And someday I probably will be. But doing that has opened the doors to things that haven't quite panned out yet, but opportunities that wouldn't have even been on the radar. So you'd be surprised, getting your book into the right hands can have all sorts of leveraging power. Now, I'm going to be launching my book marketing club in September. And as a teaser for it, in August, which is just a few days away, at the end of August, I'm going to be doing a workshop where you get to write your about page in the hero's journey format so that it sounds like you and makes you the hero that makes your clients the hero. It's very, very powerful methodology, and I'm going to be teaching it exclusively in this workshop. It's only going to be $100. And you will walk away not only with your core about page done, but you will also have the prompts you need to spin that main version into social media bios, into a welcome email, into a social post that gets people to know you. I posted a copy of it last week and got a lot of engagement on multiple platforms. So I know this works. And I know several people have said, yes, I want to take that. If you are interested in taking this workshop, which is, of course, going to lead into the book marketing club, which, of course, will help you sell more books, then write epic in the comments below. And as soon as I've got a page for you to take a look at and learn more about this workshop, I will send it along to you. All right, let's go to number 4. Sell or give away copies at events. Now, I did mention this a little bit in number 1, but I want to go into this a little bit deeper. Dan Henry, who is a marketing genius, he told a story about how he was going to be speaking at an event, and for some reason he decided, hey, I'll give everybody a book. And he hadn't written one yet. So what he did is he quickly wrote one. So it was probably not the perfect book, but even not the perfect book, right? He writes it, he prints up enough that one is sitting on every chair in that room when he gets up to speak. Within 3 months, he had gotten, like, made hundreds of dollars from people who were in that room, read that book, booked him. So, leaving your book, even if it's not the perfect book, even if you haven't gotten results from it, like, in more traditional ways, I can't even begin to tell you. Just if you're speaking at an event and your book is on their chair or in their swag bag, you will get business from it. Sometimes the people won't even read your book and you'll get business from it because the fact that they have your book in hand makes them remember your speech more. So giving away or selling your books at events can be very highly lucrative, especially if you're speaking at that event. Now, I want to mention about book fairs. Number 1, do not say yes to every book fair. Book fairs they're inconsistent in their results. Let's just put it that way. Some people have great results from book fairs, and I think it really depends on what's the theme of the book fair, who's going to that book fair, and does your book align with that? Also, it depends on how visible you're going to be at that book fair. Again, if you're speaking at the book fair, you'll probably sell more books. But if you're just someone sitting, I mean, I actually did a book fair once, and it was a group of us from a writing group. And so there were several of us there. I got a lot of people saying, I like your book, and having conversations with me, but then saying they'd go buy it on Amazon. So my having lots of copies right there didn't really do me any good. Did I sell any copies there? I think I sold one there, and it's quite possible that I sold some on Amazon. I'll never know. But you have to be really careful with book fairs. Again, it depends on who you are, how known you are in that environment, and how visible you are, and whether there's other things going on that would point to your book. So book fairs can work, but they take a lot of planning and strategy around it. You can't just show up and it'll sell. Number 5, gift it strategically to your dream clients. This is related to number 3, where I said send copies. Okay, the difference here, when I was talking about number 3, I did talk about ideal clients, but the emphasis was on power partners. If you find dreamy clients and the pain that they're having is at least partially solved in your book, chef's kiss, send that book and send it with a handwritten note, hand signed with a note, not just your name, write a little note to so and so. Obviously, put their name, don't put so and so. You probably knew that. I hope this book helps you with this thing that you told me about. That's if you met them and talked with them. Make it a surprise. Put little bows or colored tissue. Make it something that when they receive it, they feel seen and special. Now, again, this only goes to your dream clients. You have to be very, very sure this book will either get me in the door to talk to my dream client, or if they were waffling, it'll make them stop waffling and sign with you. These are highly strategic, so it takes a little effort and thinking and processing and strategizing, but it can be very very effective. There's nothing better than getting a package in the mail. You know, lumpy mail has been effective for decades, and it still is. Well, those are the 5 strategies I have for you today. Friday, I will be talking about 5 ways perfection is killing your book, and it will be inspired by the picture of Dorian Gray. I will see you on Friday, and this is Carma Spence saying ciao for now.